Mikey.
I was wondering where we were going to go with this.
It's our favorite time of the year that happens more than once a year. A new set has been released. We're doing way too much brewing for our own good.
Yes.
But, like, in a good way.
There's nothing healthy about this.
In a good way for me.
Yeah, okay. I should not be brewing as much as I am. My life right now is way too busy for that.
Listen, or hear me out, you could just sleep less and brew more.
You remember where I work, right?
Yes, I do. And they won't mind.
Did I tell you I fell asleep in the middle of a class?
No.
Straight up, first grade came in, and they were in trouble because they came in like super loud. So the gym teacher, she has this expectation of everybody coming in super quiet and waiting for the instructions and whatnot. And like they didn't do that. They came in, they were just like, ah! And they like,
as they do. Yes. Yeah.
So they got reamed for it, of course. And she was like, okay. So they wasted like 15 minutes of their class time just like screaming at each other because that's what first graders do apparently. I didn't know that. I remember picking my nose as a first grader, but okay, anyways. So she was like, okay, since you wasted like 15 minutes, I'm going to waste like 7 of yours, because whatever time you waste of yours, I'm going to waste of yours, or whatever time you waste of mine, I'm going to waste of yours kind of thing. Show them that there was a punishment to their actions. I guess I was so tired. I straight up, like, I always have a hat on because I can. And I threw the hat, like, just in front of the eyes and sunk down, dozed off. Straight up, 30 minutes later, like, the class was going. I was dozed off, out like a light. Woke up, looked at the gym teacher, and she was just like, hey, what's going on? And I was just like, did you know I was asleep? And she goes, no. And I was just like, what do you mean, no? Like, you should know.
I thought you were really deep in thought.
She's like, I didn't even notice. I was like, what do you mean you didn't notice? I'm like, what the heck?
Well, guys, welcome back to it. Another episode of Hometown Commander.
This is why, here we go, segue. This is why we never do midnight release, pre-releases
Oh, man. Let me tell you, so today's episode, we'll get our pluggaroos out of the way, and then we're going to jump right into it.
For sure.
First off, Rogue Energy, go on over to rogueenergy.com, get that powdered energy drink. All of those good vitamins, none of that nasty sugar. Get you hopping, ready to go. I recommend Grape Popsicle. We love that flavor. Blood oranges, fantastic as well. I got a Grape Popsicle tub headed my way. The Discord, head on over to the Discord.
We get a purple.
We do have an active contest going on right now.
Yes.
Make a card with the name Tommy Gun. Tell us what it does. Make up some flavor text for it. Come on over and put it in the Discord.
Please do not make the flavor text Gratata. I will ban you immediately.
We're pick a random winner to win 2 set boosters and the pack from the bundle that contains the promo Mysterious Limousine and all the foil lands. We're over on YouTube. You might be listening to this on YouTube. If so, thank you so much. Check out all of our opening content we've been doing. If you're hearing this on your favorite podcasting platform, we do have YouTube content. We've done some openings. We've done some other cool stuff. Come check us out over there.
Our editor is working very hard on those videos.
It's one of our editors. No. Now that our pluggers are done. So we have 2 topics of discussion for this episode. First off, we're going to talk about our experience at the Streets of New Capenna pre-release.
Yeah, man.
And then we're going to talk about the cards we're excited for from the set. So, Mikey, this is our, third pre-release we did together?
At a shop. We did AFR, Kamijawa.
And then this one.
And this one, yeah, because we didn't do...
Because we did a bunch at home.
We did Crimson Vow, and we did just Crimson Vow, you and I. We did Midnight Hunt with 2 other guys.
Friends.
Yeah, so, yep. This is our 3rd one that we did at a shop, which was really cool.
We did the same shop we did last time, Brigandry, but we went to the 5 o'clock one this time instead of midnight.
Side note, if I can interrupt you because I want to, I recommend Brigandry for pre-releases, not just because it's our local game shop and whatnot, and we're not really affiliated with them, or they don't pay us to say anything, blah blah blah. But honestly, I think it's really cool that for one,
they don't pay us. I'm just kidding. No.
Oh crap! Spoiler! No. What I do like, and I keep looking at it on your head, is they give out prizes in between each round. Not just giving you your complimentary set booster for doing whatever you did via that tournament or whatever. But I like that in between each round, they do a cool giveaway to a random player every single time. Millzy, you were fortunate enough to win one of their new hats that they just released and whatnot.
I do have to say I was really let down that I didn't win either of the 6-foot playmats because they're what I really wanted.
I agree.
Because I host so often, I really wanted it. But
especially that Nico Bolas one. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. But needless to say, they give away dice. They give away like random packs. They give away hats.
Staff was really helpful.
Yes, the staff is so helpful. They explain all the different mechanics. If they're new mechanics, they explain them and everything. So I definitely recommend if it's the first time and you're considering going to a pre-release or you have no idea what a pre-release is, you know what? Like, and you're living in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you have time on a Friday or Saturday when it happens, head your way over to Brigandry. It's a fun little time, decent little community. I think the players are... can be.
There's a really good mix of experienced players and newer players. I didn't really feel like we got pub stomped or anything like that. No. There was a good mix.
I did once, but like I said earlier, he wasn't good. He just had better cards than I did.
So, Mikey, for this pre-release, like other sets in the past, you got to pick your faction, or in this case, your family.
Yeah.
I actually was fairly convinced going into it I was going to play Cabaretti, but I decided the day of that I thought Riveteers might be more fun. Give me a chance to play some different stuff.
Which I was very surprised with. I thought you were just going to say screw it and just go straight Cabaretti.
But I thought that would be a lot of fun. And it worked out. It was a ton of fun. You played your brokers. So let's go over what kind of the favorite things that we opened. I got Agnes, which I thought was really cool. I got an Obnixalis, which was cool. I pulled a Xander's Lounge, which was really weird because I was in the Riveteers, but hey, it had 2 of my 3 colors. But honestly, I had a ton of fun, just mid-range, played good stuff. I really wish that I paid more attention to the set. I try my best to pay as much attention to the set as I can beforehand when I go. But I've drafted since then and I've learned a lot more about it. But I thought my pool was decent. What did you think about your pool?
It was a giant jumbled up mess. My pools were very all over the place for sure. For it to be centered in like the 3 colors I was trying to be. I just made it work, honestly. I didn't really care. I went in it with the idea of like, I'm just going to play brokers. I'm going to play green, white, and blue, Bant, if you want to call it that. No matter what my pool was going to be. Unless it was just straight trash and I only had like 3 white cards and something like that, then obviously it would have changed. But no, like, it wasn't necessarily bad. It was just, the cards that I did pull, they were really all over the place. Like, there was no like synergistic strategy that was happening other than like what brokers is trying to bring to the table and whatnot. But like, I wasn't just playing brokers cards. Like I was playing like a few cards that like work better in like the Cabaretti mix and stuff like that. I pulled the Gallagher's. I think that was probably one of my that was my promo card. It's not that great of a card, but it was probably one of my better cards. I
actually don't think it's a terrible card in limited or sealed. I just don't think it's good in Commander. But
yeah, I don't know. I didn't find too much use for it because I found that the treasures that it makes that when they come in tapped just was too slow for the game, and it kind of sucked. But it's okay. I ended up actually doing really well even with that jumbled up mess, but.
So we both went 2-1 going into the final round. I lost my first match like an absolute champion.
Well, that guy. Oof.
I played one of the most aggressive Rakdos sacrifice lists I could think of for a sealed pool, and I got bombed hard. Match 2, I played a...
Match 2, you had a bye.
I had a bye, that's correct. I joked with the staff. I said, I appreciate you giving me the bye, but what am I going to do for 50 minutes? And then a couple of the guys we played Commander from time to time with over the shop were like, hey, you said you have a bye? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you want to come catch a game of Commander? And I was like, I don't have a deck on me. If one of you guys want to give me your deck, I'll sit down and play. And played and had a good time. Match 3, I played a Brokers player that you had played. And that was a tough match. We went pretty close to time, but we had a ton of fun, and I could tell it just came down to outlasting each other.
Right.
Having the resources to outlast, and we both sat 2-1 going into round 4, and finally, for the first time in our time going to pre-releases together, we got to play each other round 4.
Yeah.
we decided to switch decks.
Yep.
And I had a ton of fun playing your list. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, no, and the same for you as well. To give my quick rundown of the experience, I played against the Brokers guy as well. Had a mirror match kind of thing. For round one, I ended up 2-0ing him. I think I just had like the slight advantage on my hand dependency and whatnot, and what I drew was just it sometimes just happens that way. I think his deck was actually really, really good. Just like I said, just what I drew, what my first opening hand was compared to his. It was the first round too. We were kind of just like whatever, it doesn't really matter kind of thing. Round two, I played against a kid. I say a kid because he literally was. He was a 15-year-old, and he almost whooped me. He had me on the edge of my seat, I think, every single game. But it was one of those scenarios where I'm sitting here going, it really shows when someone pulls a card like Obnixalis in one of these events that can change the course of a game completely. And it did, and it did twice. And I was nervous every single time. After I saw it once, I was like, I'm going to see it again. And I did, and I was like, this sucks. And I ended up coming out on top, barely, but I did. And it was a tough matchup going into round three. For my first loss, I got O2'd. Again, it's one of those scenarios when somebody drops a Falco Sparrow. I was playing against another Broker's deck, and that Sparrow does so much. And it made me happy because I'm making Falco Sparrow one of my commanders now, but it made me sad because I was like, dang, I was doing really, really well at this event for the first time and had a good chance of like going the distance and whatnot, and here it is, like I don't have the rares that everybody else has, or not that everybody else has, but that can push me further, like that somebody else may have, which he didn't, and he played it really well, and he did a great job with it. Like not only did he have Falco Sparrow, he had a Reservoir Kraken as well, and I'm just like, okay, cool, sure. and he ended up beating me, and then yes, we got to each other, and we switched to each other's decks, and I enjoyed playing your deck. I think I was just trying to mess around and have as much fun as I could. When I saw that you also pulled Obnixalis, I was just like, I gotta play it. Just because I could, and I did, and
I enjoyed
it was great.
The luxurious libationing for a win. Like that was a ton of fun. And we had kind of made the agreement going into round four. We were just gonna. We had the understanding that the winner, if you went 3-1, you got 3 packs. So we basically just agreed that we would just go split the packs evenly, and it didn't really matter who won. We were just going to play to have fun. And then come to find out, I got 4 packs instead of 3, so I gave you just 1, and then you ended up pulling a Vampiric Tutor.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think
off
I still
of the
got
list
yeah.
out of the pack that I gave you, and I was like, classic. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure. It was hilarious to see that too, just because that's one of the things that can happen, I guess. You kind of feel bad because you want to pull something new that you want. You want those rares, those mythics that just makes you go, ooh, yes, I can build a deck around this. That'd be cool. You want that new Planeswalker, that new commander that just everybody's looking for. But when it doesn't happen, you're just like, well, crap, like that kind of sucks. But then you have those moments, we've had these moments, I think, a few times where we'll pull something out of our prize packs that makes the night worth it.
Yep.
We saw that with AFR when you were like, hey, here's your Eliwick. And I was like, oh, boy, I'm going to go cry in my corner now. We saw that, in the Buc-ee's parking lot when I pulled the Vampiric Tutor, out of this one. And with, I don't really know. And with Kamigawa, I pulled Wandering Emperor. You, what was your big pull out of Kamigawa? I don't remember.
I don't remember, honestly.
I don't remember either. I don't remember. Didn't you have one of the dragons?
It might have been. I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, my brain's just been Capenna. All Capenna.
Hey, there you go. Okay, cool.
No, all Capenna, the whole Capenna, nothing but the Capenna.
I'm glad that's your brain. My brain is Baldur's Gate.
Well, same here, but unfortunately, I have time before I can play around with it, so I have to.
I don't have time. No. I think it's been fun, though. I'm excited to see our next few, our next few pre-releases. I'm more excited to see if we can get another hometown-centered pre-release. I think that would be a lot of fun.
My problem, Mikey, currently at the moment, to break the curtain, is I'm in the middle of a 3-week sabbatical from our Monday night group due to some things that have been planned and happening, and I'm going absolutely crazy. I just want to play Commander, and like, don't get me wrong, like Arena and Brawl is fun, and it's enough sometimes, but like, I have all these decks I want to try, and I'm just sitting here goldfishing them. Like, I want to play.
Yeah. I've been doing the same thing. Don't worry. I know that you've been doing sabbatical and like pullback curtain as well. For me, my wife and I, we are just now, not just now, but we are in the process of moving into an apartment. We'll be doing that fairly soon and whatnot, and that takes a lot of effort and time, and takes a lot of away from everything else. Like, Monday came around, and I was like, I could go play, but I really should probably focus that time on a few other things like packing and watching my Tampa Bay Lightning lose 5-0 and getting power turned on to the apartment.
And packing.
And packing, yes. Yeah. Which actually I did 2 out of the 4 of those things, which was get the power and watch my Lightning lose.
Such a great time.
I did not lose. I did not
the power turned on at your new place of
which
residence.
Threw me through a loop because, like, the sidetrack just for a second, like most apartments, they do the power and you kind of just pay them a different allegation of kind of thing of however much power you use that week, right?
No, ours we had to set it up.
Oh, cool. Okay, good.
We did the water through them, but we had to find our own power.
See, that's what it is here. That's what it is at this place too. It's water through them and electric. But at the other place, it was water through somebody else and electric through them.
Interesting. Yeah.
Anyways,
who knows how it works at the end of the day? But
who knows what happens in the streets of New Canada? If
you've never been to a pre-release, I recommend you go. Again, they happen the weekend before the set releases. Find a local shop around you. If you don't have a local shop around you, you most of the time can still buy kits. You can still buy the kits. For a couple sets, we did it at home.
Yeah. With
4 or 5 of us, we each opened a kit and we played some games against each other, and it was a ton of fun. You can buy kits online if you don't have a place to find them local close to you. Arena does have sealed events as well on there if that's something that you want to do. It's not exactly the same, but it's a little bit similar.
For sure.
But pre-release is a ton of fun. It allows you to have fun in a little bit more casual environment with people. People are going there, they want to have fun, they want to enjoy. You're going to see the tryhards just like you will anywhere else.
I was about to say that.
But I think most people genuinely want to have fun. And they're there to have a good time.
It was strange. When I was 2-0. That's the first time I've ever been 2-0 at an event ever. So yay me, I guess. A Magic event, I should say.
I'll say, didn't you 0-4 the AFR one like super hard?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like AFR was 0-4 and Kamigawa was like terrible as well. So it was all bad all around. But I will say, like, being 2-0 and sitting at the winners table, you could tell like it was all people who were 2-0. Like, it was just strange because like you could tell just by their demeanor, like they were like, I'm ready to go, and I was just like, I'm still playing a pre-release event. I don't really care.
It's like you look across the table, your opponent like smashes their deck box up against their head, and it like folds in half, and you're just like, what?
This other dude is injecting Mountain Dew and Red Bull mixture into his bloodstream. It's just like, when did I get to the crazy house?
One guy like picks up a magic card, just bites it in half. He's like, let's go, and you're just like, dude,
that was an Obnixalis in a suit. Like, chill out.
You need to calm down. No, pre-release is a ton of fun, and I recommend that if you've never been to one, go to one. But again, I know that is radically dependent on if you have a shop near you that does them. We're blessed in Dallas that I know of at least 5 shops that do them that we could have gone to. They're spaced out in the Dallas area, so we definitely could have picked our choice. But
yeah, man, I've enjoyed them. I've been to, I think, probably a total of in shops. I've been to a total of I think 7 when I used to play, and then 6. 7. Sorry. I had to remember how many sets I played back then.
Yeah, I've been to 4 different shops for pre-releases. And all 4 of them were very good atmospheres.
I've also been to 4 different ones, and I can say that all but one of them would make me want to go back. So.
Yeah, I think that there's definitely the ones that were better than the others. It also just came down to, I think, I got to play a pre-releases, the last time we went to Ravnica, and because everyone loves Ravnica, it was like the most attended pre-release I've ever been to because everyone loves Ravnica.
Well, except for me. No, I'm just kidding.
But Mikey, let's transition from talking about our awesome time at pre-release. And so last, 2 weeks ago, we talked about the new Capenna Commander cards, and we talked about what we were excited to build around, what we're excited to try. And so let's go through this main set. Now, we're going to do this just like the way before. We're only going to talk about the things we're either excited to try or we're excited to build with or around. We're not going to go over every rare. We're not going to go, rank everything out of 10 or put it in some list of some form. We're just going to go through, let's go through by color. We're going to talk about what we really are excited about, and hopefully maybe we'll have the same cards, maybe we'll have different cards.
Oh, I bet you will have different cards for sure.
Well, Mikey,
I'll start. Boot of Safety. Great card. Putting it in Feather. All right, moving on.
I was going to say, that was one of those cards like that. I was like, ooh, that is a Feather All-Star.
Yes, 100%.
First card for white for me is Halo Fountain. Halo Fountain looks like a ton of fun. This is going to go in the wink, wink, nudge, nudge, cough, cough Jetmir list that I'm working on.
Oh, really?
We won't talk. We'll talk about it a few times in this episode, but believe me, we will have more conversation about this deck.
Are you sure?
Oh, yeah.
Is Jetmir your favorite commander right now?
From Capenna, yes. In a world where Goreclaw exists, it's tough to...
No, I said right now.
It's up there.
Wow. You really love that bear.
He's a cat boy. The cat boy. Jetmir's the cat boy.
That big cat right there, boy.
I just think that Halo Fountain's really interesting, and I'm excited to see if it's even going to work the way I think it will.
I think it will. I think it'd be a fine addition for sure. And that art is beautiful.
Right next to it is the one commander that I'm excited to try to build around. I don't know how much of an honest go I'll give it, but I think it'll be fun. That's Giada, Font of Hope.
Man, that card just seems like it's gonna be built 5,000 different ways, except for it's all the same way.
She's gonna be built.
Where does she sit on the EDH page as of right now?
For Angels or for
let's do mono white. Let's just do mono
white.
Because
there's a difference. Okay.
I mean, we all know that the one and only. Heliod's number 1. That's interesting.
12th.
Oh, 12th? That's not bad. I was thinking that, what is his name? Odric would be higher. But I don't think very many people play Godric, actually.
Odric is directly below her at 13.
That's funny. Anyways, so 12th. I mean...
That'll go up.
It will, for sure. I don't think that she's going to be like a top...
She's the best Angel commander we've seen.
Yes, I was about to say. I don't think that she'll be a top...
I think Lyra was the best we had before just because of the buff that she gave.
Yeah, and how cheaper she was.
But I think Giada will be the obvious
choice. This makes Avacyn playable now, in those decks. I mean, yes, you put Avacyn in every Angel deck because it's Avacyn, but...
Well, it's not only that, but it's all the mono-white support we've got.
Yes, exactly.
As well. Yeah, I think she's interesting. I'm going to give it a solid go, but I mean... I don't expect to build the deck or anything like that, but I would proxy it. I would try it out. I think it'd be fun to see.
Hey, White Anthems is a fun time.
On the table, but next card I want to talk about is Rabble Rousing. Hideaway's back, and this is probably it's a tie for my favorite Hideaway card in this set. Hideaway 5. Whenever you attack with one or more creatures, create that many 1/1 green and white creature citizen creature tokens. Then, if you control 10 or more creatures, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost.
That's pretty nice.
I hope that in Commander we can cheat some fun stuff out.
I think you'll be able to. I think that the Hideaway mechanic is pretty cool, pretty interesting. I didn't really understand it when I first looked at those cards, but I think now I do.
The only thing you got to watch with the Hideaway mechanic is on one of them, it says cast the exiled card.
Yes. That is the...
So you just got to be careful because you can't cast lands. You can play lands, but you can't cast them. So Rabble Rousing will let you take anything and play it, whereas if it says cast, you can only take spells. So that's...
And there's only... The one that does it, it makes sense of why it says cast rather than play, because it would be not necessarily broken, but a little busted.
Mike, are there any other white cards that we need to talk about?
I do like the I think it's the Limousine that's in white.
Mysterious Limousine?
Yeah. It's great. I'm excited to put it in vehicles and have a great time with
the vehicular units.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know me. I like
Next on, we're moving up to the worst color in the color pie.
Excuse me?
No, we're moving on to blue.
Says the one who's Simic is the best.
I mean, Simic is the best. That's not the point. The point is, for me personally, there aren't really many cards in blue this set that I'm like stoked for.
There's no bangers in here. I mean, I do like that there's a mono blue commander that makes me really want to build a mono blue commander. That costs only 1 blue.
Errant Street Artist definitely perked my ears back up to Arcades because it feels really good in that deck.
Yeah.
I like. I really like. Never mind, it was a commander card. I really like the one commander enchantment, the one that start of your upkeep you make a upkeep you make a choking copy of a permanent you control.
Yeah.
Like, that makes me really excited because there's a lot of cool things you can do with that. But
yeah.
I think a little chat and an offer you can't refuse are going to be really good cards. They both have some really cool playability. I love the idea that you can counter your own spell with an offer you can't refuse and get treasures out of it.
Right. There was one card, I think, in blue. Public Enemy, wasn't it?
Yeah, Public Enemy looks a lot of fun. It says you enchant a creature. When all creatures attack enchanted creature's controller each combat, if able. And then when enchanted creature dies, draw a card. And it's called Public Enemy for a reason, because you're making a public enemy out of somebody, and I think it's really fun.
I also like Security Bypass. I like it in a deck like Yuriko, where I really want to do combat damage with at least one of those ninjas. I'm probably going to put it on who gives a crap, probably Yuriko itself. I already put Aqueous Form on her, so now I'm not only getting her value, but now I get to draw a card, discard a card, and I get to put a +1/+1 counter on her. So now I like the connive mechanic, honestly. Like, in all, I think it's really, really fun.
We have a new Shapeshifter Rogue, Undercover Operative.
Yeah, 'cause that's
2 and 2 blue. You may have it come in as a copy
that's what we needed.
of any creature on the battlefield, except in theirs with a shield counter on it if you control that creature.
Okay, listen. I like copy spells. I think they're really, really good. If you're playing blue, you're probably going to run 1 or 2. And if you're running blue, well, you're probably, unfortunately, running the dumbest blue card in all of Magic, which is Sakashima. But, I mean, I get it. The value's there, for sure. I guess I'm just tired
The
of
only
seeing
difference between this and like a Spark Double is this can't copy a legendary creature.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm just tired of seeing one every single set. We saw one in Kamigawa, and I think we saw one in one of the Innistrad ones, too.
So let's move on up to black.
Great cards here.
Lots of interesting cards.
We got to reprint a Murder. Come on now. That's good stuff.
Red Rum. I always love when they reprint Murder because it's been printed into the ground, and I still like seeing it reprinted.
Yes.
I feel like it needed to be reprinted by name, but I kind of wish we could get like another reprinting of like Hero's Downfall or some of the other black, removal spells that are popular in other formats. My favorite black card, the one that I'm excited to play around with, just because it's going to be used in a head-to-head list and a deck that I'm going to be trying out, is Tenacious Underdog, one of our new Blitz cards, and I like that you can Blitz it from the graveyard, which I think seems really cool.
For sure.
I have a love-hate relationship with Whack.
You hate it because of the name.
I hate it because of the name, and I don't mind it because it's actually not bad and limited. I just hate it because of the name.
Honestly, like in black, I wasn't too stoked about most of the cards. I think the Shadow Mentality is pretty cool. I think the shakedown. Heavy, yes. Great card. For 3 mana, you get to attack with a 6/4. It has Menace, but it can be taken out, and it's like taken out of combat, and it's like, okay, that's fine. Thank you for my free card. Like, I would rather draw cards in a card game anyway.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a little detour from black and rock on down
the best color of the pie.
Oh. That's a bold.
I had to.
First card I'm really excited about, just because this is the kind of enchantment I want to make work, is Arcane Bombardment.
Yeah.
6 mana. This is when you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn. Note that it says each turn.
Yeah. Exile
an instant or sorcery card at random from your graveyard, then copy each card exiled with it. You may cast any number of them without paying their mana costs. For any of our Is It Spells decks, like, this just seems really good.
It seems like it's going to hurt.
Play a brainstorm or an opt on your opponent's turn and just copy something at random from your graveyard. Like just
it's going to hurt. No, you copy like everything exiled.
But I'm saying like you started off by
it's still.
But I'm just saying like it doesn't take much mana. Like all you do is play an opt on your opponent's turn, and you're gonna go ahead and copy everything that's been exiled. I mean, what I'm saying is
and then you storm into a grape shot.
It doesn't take much to start it, and once you start it, it's just really good.
Because Storm.
Yes, because Storm. One of my favorite cards from Red in this set, because it goes into a couple different lists that I'm working on, is the Professional Facebreaker. Menace, whenever one or more creatures you control do a combat to a player, you create a treasure token, you could sacrifice a treasure to exile the top card of your library, and you could play it this turn. I mean, this is an all-star in Prosper. It does everything that deck wants to do. This fits into almost any treasure strategy, because it's just giving you payoffs for the treasures. Notice that it says sacrifice a treasure, so for some of the cards that make tap treasure tokens, you could still sacrifice them with this to do it.
It's pretty great. I love the card Jackhammer just because of the name Jackhammer. I think that's really funny. But I do like the, I think it's right above it. Yes, the glittering stockpile. I think it's going to be very, very helpful in helping mono red decks or even just spell slinging decks, like you just said, Izzet decks. I think it's going to help them get that ramp that they're looking for. And I mean, that's something I'm always looking for in mono red or just red in general. Is just
you bite up that mana over time, and then you just let it go when you need it.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good card. I think it's going to help some strategies out a ton.
Yes.
I think there's some strategies that probably won't need it or use it to the biggest degree, but I feel like some of them will use it.
Sorry.
First comment I'm going to mention is Sticky Fingers. This card looks really fun. Chant creature has Menace, and whenever it does combat to its player, you get a treasure token, and then when it dies, you draw a card for 1 mana. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's hurtful.
This seems like a really good card in Prosper, because you can even put it on Prosper and let him swing for free.
Yep.
Or put it on your Goldspan and give it Menace in the air or something like that.
Yeah, I was thinking about putting it like on Feather again, something like that. I think putting it on a big creature is great as well, but you do what you need. I do like the new Urbask. I don't think it's as good as the old one, but I do think it's doing what Red is moving into, that exile-y type play from exile kind of thing. I think it's really interesting that we're seeing a lot more of that now. I think Prosper really, really paved the way for that.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited that they keep pushing it, because it makes me want to build a Rakdos-y kind of exile play type thing, but I'm like, is Prosper the only way to go with that right now?
Yeah, it didn't make the first cuts for Prosper from the new set yet, but I think it will get tried in there eventually. There's just so many good cards in this set.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we got to talk about everyone's favorite mythic from this set, the Stash.
Now we're moving into green. Yeah.
Bootlegger Stash, lands you control have tap, create a treasure token.
Great card. That's all I have to say.
Interesting thing to note, the way that this card is worded, and this goes along with things like Chromatic Lantern, this effect would go over top of like a Blood Moon. Like if someone Blood Moons your lands, you would still be able to tap them for treasures.
Right. Because they're still land.
Yeah, because it says all lands you control have that ability as a separate thing. So it's good to know that it's kind of like with like Urborg saying that all your lands are swamps and just other types where they can tap. It just gives your land another activated ability. And so I think it's good. I don't think it's a staple in every green deck, but I certainly think in the strategies that can use it, it's definitely a very good card. I think it will be easily abused in the colors that in the decks that can use it.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to see what people do with it.
Well, we're going to go to my second favorite green card in this set, and that's Fight Rigging, 2 and a green, mono green card, of course. Hideaway 5, and beginning of combat on your turn, you put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control, and then if that creature is power 7 or greater, you can play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. There is one deck that I don't have to mention that this card has found an easy home in.
Girl Fight Club?
Yes, Girl Fight. No, this is a Goreclaw staple through and through. To be able to cast some stuff for free. Can't wait to hide away a Craterhoof Behemoth with this. and cast it at the start of combat out of nowhere. Sexy.
Not really, but okay.
I just think the hideaway enchantments are all really cool. Some of them I see the benefit over others, but I think all of them are kind of interesting.
I like the common Jewel Thief. Helps
Probably
me out.
one of the best commons we've ever seen.
Oh, for sure. Helped me out a lot in the pre-release. I think it could be useful in a lot of different ways. It's only 3 mana, but you kind of have to look at it as kind of more of a 2 mana drop because you're getting a treasure.
3 mana, 3/3, Vigilance, Trample. Comes in, you get a treasure.
Yeah, so I mean it's a 2 mana. Basically,
I mean that's a lot for 3 mana.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically getting a 3/3 Vigilance and Trample for 2 mana, and then you get to turn around and do something else as well. So
I could see this getting played in like a cat deck since it is a cat. Like
I think it should, honestly. Hint, wink, wink. I might be thinking about it, but that's
wink, wink, nudgy, nudge.
For sure.
We're gonna move to my favorite mono green card in the set, and that is the big boy, the biggest of creatures. Titan of Industry. This thing is massive, and I love it.
I hate it.
7 mana, 7/7, reach, trample. When it enters the battlefield, choose 2. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Target player gains 5 life. Create a 4/4 Rhino. Put a shield counter under creature control. Now, the thing I learned, Mikey, from a video we've mentioned in another episode, you do them in the order they show up in this list. So you pick your 2 and you resolve them in the order that they show up on that list.
Interesting.
So you can put that shield counter on the 4/4 Rhino that you create because you're always going to create the Rhino before you put the shield token on. Now, shield counter, you don't have to target. You choose where you want to put the shield counter on when it resolves. So you don't have to target. Like you don't have to, when it resolves, you choose where the shield counter goes.
Right.
I'm really excited to try Topiary Stomper. It seems like a ton of fun. 4/4 for 3 that gets you a land, but it can't attack or block unless you control 7 or more lands. People are comparing this to Wayward Swordtooth, which I think is a fair comparison. I mean, Wayward Swordtooth is probably better because it lets you play more than 1 land a turn.
Yeah.
Which is just really good. But I think both of them are great.
Yeah.
Topiary Stomper is definitely something I'm going to be trying out in Goreclaw, see if it fits well, because I think it's a little dead until you hit that 7th land, but once you hit that 7th land, it's going to come out of the gate swinging.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before. Having a 4/4 in Commander is really, really good. So.
And then we have an effective reprint we have a better Thragtusk in Workshop Warchief.
Yeah.
3 and 2 green for a Rhino Warrior with Trample. When it enters the battlefield, you get 3 life. When it dies, you get a 4/4 Rhino Warrior creature token, and you can blitz it for 6. I mean, this is Thragtusk in all reality, but it's kind of better because you can give it haste.
Yeah. As I say, you can blitz it in, let it come in, do its thing, and then when it dies...
get a body when it leaves?
Yeah, you get a body when it leaves, but also you get a card when it leaves as well from blitzing.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a great payoff all around.
Yeah, this is another one I'm excited to try in Goreclaw, see if the... either blitzing it for 4 or bringing it down regularly for 3, I think it will perform well, at that stat line. So I'm excited to see how that goes. We're going to move into multicolored. I'm sure we're both going to have a couple picks here. I'm going to guess we're going to stop first at...
Brooker's Ascendancy, yes. 1 Bant cycle of green, white, and blue for at the beginning of... what is it?
Your end step.
Thank you. You put a +1/+1 counter on...
each creature you control, and a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. So good.
So great in your Super Friends list. If you're running a Traxa, it's even better. Stuff like that. We've harped on it before. We talked about this a little bit in our head-to-head for brokers and whatnot, because I think we both were using it in our lists.
Seems free.
It definitely seems free. It's very, very good. I can't wait to use it. Can't wait to run it. It
feels awkward early if you don't have enough creatures, but late game like this just feels good.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it. I'm also excited to play that fancy showcase art that we pulled in our one of our openings.
I really like this because it kind of makes like Silkguard 1 green mana to give all your creatures hexproof. Like there's a lot of great combos with this, and I think it's in the 3 colors that care the most about +1/+1 counters. And so if you mix this with a Hardened Scales or any of our infamous doublers, it just gets better.
For sure. This card's going to be awesome.
So I really like that one. As much as the charms they're there, we'll kind of leave them where they're at.
They're there.
the one instant that I really like is Endless Detour. Same thing, one of each color for Bant, green, white, blue. The owner of target spell, non-land permanent, or card in the graveyard puts it on the top or bottom of their library. It gets around spells not being able to be countered because you're not countering a spell, you're taking it off the stack. This could go get a problematic card from somebody's graveyard if they're trying to reanimate something. This could bounce something that somebody has on the battlefield. Now, note it says non-land permanent, so you can get enchantments, you can get artifacts. I like the versatility of this card, and I could see this being a pretty big played staple in EDH in Bant colors.
For sure. A little below it. Card you're probably actually not going to think about. I think Exotic Pegs is a really fun card. Not just in like limited, but I think you could see it in Commander as well if you're really playing into that multiple token strategy kind of thing. And we see that it's getting a lot more love with the new Elspeth card and whatnot. I think Exotic Pegs is really, really cool. Now, of course, the card next to it, Falco Sparrow, is amazing. Has a lot of value, has a lot of greatness. Love that card. I can't wait to use you.
I think of all the cards in this set, I think it's probably the Commander you're the most excited to
sure.
build around. And not a few cards below it is the Commander that I'm most excited to build around.
Ginny.
Yes, Ginny Fang, no, Jetmir, Nexus Rebels. I've been looking for a token commander for a really long time, and I think it fulfills everything I could have wanted from a token commander.
I still love, like, you can't write this. Like, you were building...
I've been messing around with Girid
for, like, probably 2 weeks, and then, like, we started seeing some spoils for Capenna, and Cabaretti was, like, one of the first 2 or 3 that they showed off, and you were like, bye, Girid.
Yeah, I was like, done.
I don't need you anymore.
I was like, I just need to wait. I mean, I had a preliminary Jetmir list done. I just was like, man, we know the Cabaret care about tokens. I want to see what else they'll actually give me, before I solidify my list. I do like Ginny Fey as well. I think she's cool. A really fun. She'd be a fun commander. I think she's an all-star in Jetmir or in Ren and Siri. I really like her. I think she'll be an interesting card. She's been my brawl commander that I've been playing around with, and she's a ton of fun to do different things. A card that I want to talk about, not because I'm excited about it, but because I have a feeling I'll be past exiling and Swords of Plowsharing.
We'll be playing against it multiple times.
I'm pretty sure I'll be plowsharing this commander for the rest of time, and that's Lord Xander the Collector. 7 mana big boy. I like the card. I just worry that it's too expensive for what it does, and people are going to get poached into it. I was telling somebody at the pre-release that Xander's not a card you play when you have 7 mana. Xander's a card you play when you have 8 or 9 mana and you can protect it, because it's going to lightning rod any piece of exile removal that anyone can find very quickly.
Now, here's a fun thing. Never mind. Not a fun thing. I don't have a fun thing. I keep on forgetting he's like in red, blue, and red, or red, blue, and black, and I'm just like, never mind. I can't cheat him in like I want to with different things. So, never mind.
We'll move down to our next 3-mana Planeswalker that, to some degree, I feel like is broken, but I think he's only broken in constructed standard. I don't think he's broken in Commander. No. And that's Obnixalis the Adversary. It's a very good card. Yeah. I don't think it's as broken as Oko was, but I mean, it comes down to what you can casualty it for.
Yeah.
I think in Commander, it's going to hurt, but I mean, we start with 40 life. 2 isn't all that much, and now you have to protect it from 3 people. I think in any 1v1 format, Obnixalis is a very good card, and it's going to deal a lot of pain to people. But in Commander, I think it's going to have to fit the right strategy.
Yeah, I can see this card doing a lot of damage. I don't know. I see Planeswalkers as very strong when they come down, and a lot of people look at them. But I mean, if you really look at what they can do in like a 4-player format and whatnot, like, they're really only affecting most of the time one player, and that's just that player. Like, sometimes they're not really affecting you at all.
I mean, granted here, Obnixalis +1 says each opponent loses 2 life unless they discard a card. So at least it's symmetrical.
Yes.
But it's 2 life at the end of the day.
For sure. Now, I mean, if you have 2 of them out and then you do that, then it's a different story. Then that's 4 life and whatnot.
I just think
the drain is
in Commander, you don't slap this down and make a devil and expect it to live, for very long. You got to protect it.
I mean, if you're running like a double tribal kind of thing, which we are seeing in with some spoilers from Baldur's Gate, can be a thing later on in the future. So I mean,
no, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying
no, for sure.
When you're running a lot of 1/1s, you run the risk of kind of the death of any Planeswalker, which is giant creatures with trample tend to be the thing that take most Planeswalkers out in Commander. So I think you just got to protect Obnixalis. If you have the removal to protect it, I think it's a powerhouse and it can do good things. But it's not as to me it's not as good as like a Elspeth Sun's Champion where you come down and wipe the board. Like there are Planeswalkers out there that do a lot better when they come down. But again, that's from a Commander standpoint. From a standard or a limited standpoint, this is an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah, he's going to hurt a lot in standard.
We'll move down to one of my commanders I'm excited to try out and build around, and that's Agnes the Dragon's Lash. Haste Tribal, Haste plus Treasures. I'm excited about this one. He is my pick for our head-to-head episode, and I'm really excited about testing it and trying it and making it my own. I think it's an interesting commander, and I am excited to have it be fairly general. Haste is a big, wide-open thing. Doesn't necessarily just have to be Blitz, although I'm going to play the Blitz stuff in there. But I'm definitely excited about it. I think the next card is one that we're both at least semi-interested in, and that's Rafine Scheming Seer. A really interesting creature, flying Ward 1. Whenever you attack, target attacking creature connives X, where X is the number of attacking creatures. I've already seen this card look really good in Standard.
Right.
And if it looks that good in Standard, we play a format where you can make a lot of creatures really quickly.
Yeah.
This card seems like an all-star in a Layla. Like, it just seems like a perfect secondary commander in that deck to just give you the bonus. I also think it feels like a really good commander on its own. Comes down turn 3. You can attack that turn and still get the connive, whether Rafine attacks or not.
For sure.
That's really beneficial.
One card right in front of her, I like Quasar. What is it? Augur of
Agonies.
I think it's really cool. Like you said earlier today, somebody made a draw kind of deck around it, which I think would be really, really fun to try out. I don't think Esper is that kind of common combination I'm just super excited about, but it definitely is interesting enough to talk about. I also like Rigo. I just love his second ability. It works so well with the 1/1 and 1/2 birds that I'm throwing in Bant Birds and whatnot. I think it's just so cool, so much fun that I could throw this person in the commander set, and I still get to draw cards when I'm attacking. Now this makes my attacks just better, and I like that a lot.
As you move down, I think we have my favorite of the charms and Riveteer's Charm.
Yes.
I think it has the biggest impact. Target opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker they could draw with the highest mana value. Exile top of your cards to library. You can play them until the end of your next turn, or exile target player's graveyard. I think it's just good on all three points, and I think it's going to get a ton of not standard play. I think it's going to be a very popular card.
For sure. You want to talk about the card right next to it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a card that has definitely taken the Commander community by storm as the card where you can pick your secret commander, and that's Rocco, Cabaret Caterer. X, red, green, white. When it enters the battlefield, if you cast it, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value X or less, put it on the battlefield and shuffle. I mean, this is a creature tutor on a creature. Not bad. Everyone's talked about using this to make a non-legendary creature your commander. You cast Rocco for that amount, go get the creature you want. I think Rocco's fine. I just think, what does the number of X have to be before it becomes not worth it?
Right.
Is putting 11 mana into a Rocco for a Craterhoof worth it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think I know that's a bad example, but I'm just saying, like, there has to be a number where putting the X into Rocco becomes not worth it at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Rocco is going to be an interesting little thing. I'd love to see what people build around it, especially in the time where in the time that we live, where Jetmir's a commander, Ginny Faye is a commander, and those just seem better than this. Honestly, I mean, I get it. It's in a great color combination of Naya, but I don't know. I don't see. I guess you can go get Gishath. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what creature can I go get that makes this worth it.
Someone out there is looking at this, and they had that creature in mind for the last X years, and they're finally ready to play it. And I'm happy for them. I just don't see it.
What do you mean by making a non-legendary their commander?
So, because Rocco can be your commander,
right?
And it says when there's the battlefield, you go search your library for a creature card. So, in a convoluted way, in all reality, you could make a non-legendary creature in your deck the focus of your deck because you can go get it with Rocco.
Right.
It's not your commander by designation, but like let's say I really wanted, I don't know,
Goldspan Dragon.
Yeah, Goldspan Dragon to be my commander. That's the card I want to build around, and it's the card I really care about. Well, I can't make it my commander, but Rocco can go get it. And so the point there is like you could go get a creature that you really care about but isn't legendary and build your strategy around it because you have access to it as long as you have mana. I know that it's a little more convoluted than that, but
why is the only thing I can think about is the 1-mana 1/1 trampling Badger?
Yes. A card I think is interesting. I would love to try to find something with it because I had a lot of fun with it in Limited. Is Soul of Emancipation.
Yeah, great card.
A 7-mana 5/7 when it comes in, you destroy up to 3 other target non-land permanents, and for each of those, its controller creates a 3/3 angel. You can destroy your own artifacts. You could destroy your own cheap creatures and come in and make angels.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying it's a better Terestodon. I agree and disagree at the same time with it. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting card. I wish it had flying, but other than that, I think it's an interesting card.
Yeah, it's very strange that it doesn't have flying.
We got that Stimmy, the stimulus package. It's such an interesting... When I read this card, I was like, oh no, just what we needed, another treasure payoff, especially one that's repeatable.
Oh.
I mean, there are so many infinite combos that it just makes it worse. You know, whenever it comes in, you make 2 treasures. You could sack a treasure to make a 1/1. There are plenty of sacrifice decks that will take that 1/1, put it right into something and get that treasure back, and it just becomes infinite.
Yeah.
This plus Pitiless Plunderer and any sack outlet just becomes infinite.
I was about to say, yeah. Oh.
So, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's 4 mana at the end of the day, but I just, when I saw this, I was like, oh boy, here we go with the treasure payoffs. I mean...
if there's not enough already, right?
Go down to probably one of my favorite of the new family heads, although I'm saddened because she's kind of just a watered-down version of another popular commander. But Zeotor the Incinerator is a ton of fun. I'm still debating whether or not I'm making a sacrifice deck with this.
I love what she does. We've looked at this multiple times and said that, you know, Corvold is better. Yes, okay, we move on. And, you know, we understand that, yeah, like, she won't be up in those numbers like he is, but I think she has a good chance of giving it a run for its money just because of what she does. Oh my goodness, I can't talk. She still gives you those 3 treasures. So you've said earlier tonight that, you know, you sacrifice a 1/1 and get 3 treasures. That's pretty great.
I like the card next to it, Void Rend. I think this is an interesting card that I could see being pretty playable. 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black. Spell can't be countered. Destroy target non-land permanent. I think that's more than commander playable. That's an Esper staple. Very good card. In fact, that's better than... I mean, in an Esper deck, this is better than a Generous Gift. This is better than a you know, a lot of things. I mean, I think this is the kind of card that... I mean, it doesn't beat an Anguished Unmaking, but I mean, it's very good as far as destroy spells go.
Yeah.
It's probably one of the best we've seen in a long time. I'll go with the card that's on the other side of Zeotor's Envoy. I'm excited to try this again in the Ognis deck. This is the kind of card that I think can be massive upside if you hit it right. And at the worst case, it's a 5/4 trample for 4.
Yeah.
I think that's very good in that Jund mid-range style. You know, we'll talk more about that when we do our Riveteers episode. But I like that card. I think it's really good. Now let's move on to our
colorless
cards. I mean, I have to mention Brass Knuckles on the concept of it. I don't think it's very good, but I love the idea of it.
Yeah. I will say, like, I looked at the cement shoes. I love the flavor of it. I do. I think it's cool because you're kind of just giving your creature a like one shot of, hey, go out there and do some pretty good damage with giving it +3/+3. But it not untapping, it just seems very, very bad. I don't know if I will use the getaway car. I probably will throw it in the vehicles deck and just see if it works and whatnot. But I like that it does have haste, knowing now that vehicles unfortunately have to have haste to attack at the same turn they come down.
It plus dockside feels pretty good.
It definitely does. I have thought about it. I'm pretty excited to see if that actually works like I want it to.
I think it plus a lot of things feels pretty good, but it's an interesting. It's definitely a very good vehicle. I mean, compared to some of the other mid-range, just type vehicles we've had.
I understand.
We got a splashy mythic, half of an infinite combo. Lux, your Giada's gift. Artifact equipment. Creature gets +1/+1 for each counter on it. Equip permanent isn't a planeswalker and is a creature in addition to its other types. Equip planeswalker for 1, equip to anything else for 3. Turns planeswalkers into creatures, which is a really interesting concept. I just wish that the infinite combo that was with this wasn't as obvious as it was.
I agree. I do kind of, however, like that Wizards played around with that.
Yeah.
They said, you know what, we'll see if y'all see it. And then we were like, we
think
see it.
The idea of making a planeswalker a creature is really interesting. What I think is hilarious is it literally becomes a creature that can still use its planeswalker's abilities.
And not get attacked directly.
Yep.
Which is great. It's really great.
And that's huge.
And it never dies, even when it drops down to 0.
Just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Well,
because it's getting +1/+1. Well, what? No, it's +1/+1 for
each counter.
Each
it's
counter.
loyalty counters.
So it would still,
The cool part about this, though,
if you put a shield counter on it.
No. The more fun part is, it's a creature, right? Which means it doesn't lose loyalty counters when it's dealt damage. It just takes damage like any creature would.
Right. Yeah.
Which means your about to ultimate planeswalker that's a creature can block as much as you want it to because it's an 8/8 or whatever, and it won't lose its counters.
Oh wow! Because it's not a planeswalker anymore. Listen, we just joked about this about 25 minutes ago. What if we just put all of our money together and buy Wizards of the Coast?
And let's move on. Let's just take a little bit of time to talk about Wizards finally finishing the Triumph cycle from Ikoria.
Yeah.
We get the other 5 3-color combinations on lands with the tri-types. You can tap for any of the 3 colors. They come in tapped and they cycle for 3 mana. We needed these. And specifically, like a couple of these color combinations really needed these.
Yeah.
Esper really needed these. Grixis really needed this. I mean, Jundin,
Bant were
and
fine.
And Bant or Naya didn't necessarily need them because they're the colors that have ramp anyway.
Yeah.
But those non-green colors really needed these.
Yeah, for sure.
I really like the cycle of kind of evolving wilds here. Yep. I think they're all going to be really good. They're going to be great budget lands. They're going to work really well. You can... I don't think there's any restrictions on... Like, you could play this Riveteer's Outlook in a Gruul deck, because I don't see any reason why you couldn't. It doesn't have a color thing. So, if you pick a 3-color combination that can play more than one of these... You can play all of them that you can to go find your lands. I think that's really good for the more budget style decks.
I'm throwing them in at least the one that fits the color combination for sure. Like I'd throw the Cabaret Courtyard into a Naya deck just because I think it's nice to have it. Another searchable land is great, especially if you're playing some kind of landfall strategy or something like that. I think it's fine, and then you get a life out of it, which is kind of cool.
Fun thing to note, if you're playing an Urborg or a Yavimaya that gives all your land, or like a Chromatic Lantern or something that gives your lands the ability to tap for any mana or another mana, you can tap these lands in response to their trigger.
You can.
And you can net that mana. And
because it is a period win, they are sacrificed, correct?
Yep.
So you can respond to the win.
when it enters the battlefield, it goes on the trigger and you have the choice, but you could tap it in response because you can tap Unbland at any time.
Yeah.
I think they're interesting. I like these new common lands. I think honestly, they're better than some lands that we've gotten. I think a land that lets you sack it to draw a card is good.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially when you're up to like 12 mana and you just need a card. I think they're all decent. I think some of them are going to be more played than others. Like, I think your non-green ones have a higher chance of getting played than your green ones. But, I don't know. I think they're still all cool. The artwork's fantastic on them.
Oh, of course.
Which I'll never turn down a land with good artwork. Mikey, we're going to try a new segment here.
Oh, yeah?
It's your favorite art on a borderless card. Just these borderless cards.
Man. You can't go wrong with that Elspeth art, honestly.
It is pretty. For me, I think it's a hard tie between Halo Fountain and Titan of Industry. They both just look really cool in kind of what they are and what they do. The Titan Industry just looks so menacing. And then Halo Fountain just looks so pretty. It just reminds me, again, it's Gatsby to me.
Yeah.
I love it. The 5 borderless lands, of course, are pretty. And then we'll go down to our showcase. What is your favorite showcase art?
Again, Brooker's Ascendancy, man. It's such a cool looking art. It's so wonky looking. It's very, I think it's Picasso I'm thinking of. That's what I'm kind of thinking of.
Yeah, it's very abstract.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. I think mine is the Cat Daddy Jet Mirror. I love the very suave, luxurious look that he has. I think all the charms look better in their showcase art than they do in their regular art.
Ognis, I think, looks really, really cool in the showcase.
I think the Ascendancies, too, all have some cool art. Mm-hmm. I really like the Repeteers one with all the guys standing on the scaffolding.
Yep.
Looks cool.
And, of course, Falco Sparrow in that fancy suit.
But yeah, guys, that is most, if not all of the cards in Streets of New Capenna. We've gone through our opinions on what we're excited to try.
We could technically add the Stranger Things cards to this, right?
Oh, we can. They did get reprinted in the list.
So this is like the only set you can go buy a pack and have the ability to get them.
Chance to get them.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, yes, you had the chance to get all of them and in a secret layer bundle and whatnot, but I think it's really cool that they did that with these. I hope they do that with the rest of them that they haven't touched on yet. I get nervous that they won't do anything with those dumb Walking Dead cards. There's only really one that's actually kind of disgusting, but I don't really see any other ones. But besides that,
I'm just happy that A, that they reprinted them, and B, that they gave them Magic specific art.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the same, Stranger Things art just with a new name. I like that they actually feel like Magic characters. Like they all are cool and they all have their own interesting, like we pulled a couple in our booster box that we opened up on the channel, and the more that I look at them, the art's just really cool.
Yes. I mean, it's from one of our favorite planes of Innistrad, the art style, which we already both like. We love looking at the art from Innistrad and stuff like that. I mean, honestly, I think they could have just given us a pack full of art cards and we would have been fine with Innistrad just having that. It's just great.
Innistrad's one of those planes that, as much as I've never 100% loved all of the tribes in Innistrad, I love the art.
Right.
It's just that gothic horror has always been something that I've loved.
Werewolves could be better. Anyways.
So, Mikey, at the moment,
Go on.
of the commanders that we've seen so far in Streets of New Capenna, what commander do you think might catch you off guard for something you might enjoy?
For something I might enjoy.
Like maybe that you're kicking around the idea of trying, but you're not sure, but you still want to try because you think maybe it could impress you or change your mind.
Honestly, it is probably Rafine. Honestly, the connive mechanic just seems really, really cool. I I like the idea of cycling through cards, but getting a benefit from it as well. I think that's just really, really cool.
I really agree. I think Rafine could be one of those commanders that, if you build it to your style, could be a ton of fun. And I think I will give it its fair shot, and probably not right away, but it would get its fair shot. I'm excited to try it when I get there. I've kind of started a list and messed around with it a little bit, but I think it's the commander that I'm expecting to probably come out of nowhere if it's the commander that I enjoy the most. Because to be honest, there really aren't any other of these obscure commanders that half interest me.
Right, and I feel like things that would, the other ones that I see wouldn't really catch me off guard, whether they be like, kind of be like, oh, that is different, maybe I should try that. But really when I looked at the set, I knew going into it, like I knew who I wanted out of it, what cards I wanted out of it, and I was like, okay, I'm content with these handful of cards and this set just being really, really cool and me not wanting a lot from it. That's okay. So, yeah.
Well, guys, that's going to wrap up our conversation about Streets of New Capenna. I think we're both real excited about this set.
Oh, I forgot about... Oh, wait, no, that was a commander card. Never mind, moving on.
We're excited to play around with the new cards. We're excited to try out our new brews. Again, we're doing a head-to-head episode for every family in Streets of New Capenna, and that's going to take us pretty much right up to close to Commander Legends 2. So that'll be a big, be big for our channel. I mean, considering it's the premier set for us this year.
Yeah, not just big for our channel, big for our format, the way we play, the way we brew. I mean, just from what we already seen and the tidbits that we keep seeing from Commander Legends 2, I'm just I keep kicking myself, honestly, because I've
got money for a collector box ready to go. I'm saving it because I know that it's gonna be expensive, but it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how many decks both of us brew with new commanders from Commander Legends 2.
You know, it's not really. It didn't start the partner mechanic, but it kind of fleshed out the partner mechanic that we know now. This whole pick two partners and put them together thing. Without expressing too much about the leaks, we've seen what could potentially be a new spin on that, and that could be a ton of fun. So we'll see kind of what that looks like.
I'm confused. Which mechanic are you talking about?
Background.
Ah, yes, sorry.
I don't want to go too far into it.
Yes.
But we will know more soon, of course. But it definitely intrigues me. I'll put it at that.
Same here.
But thank you guys so much for listening to us. We will catch you next time.
Later.